So all these Trump voters and organizations that supported Donald Trump are having deep regrets today and over the weekend as Donald Trump imposed the tariffs that he said he was going to impose. I guess they thought that he was joking or that this was all part of some negotiation scheme when in fact he's actually a psychotic maniac who is trying to annex Canada and to destroy all of our alliances and destroy NATO and to conquer Greenland. And so, this epiphany from these Trumper groups that are like these organizations that were supportive of him, like this group right here, the National Association of Home Builders, a bastion of liberals and progressives. I'm joking, of course. They represent builders in the construction industry, and they were very supportive of Donald Trump. I'm sure not the whole organization, but at the high level, they were very happy when he got elected. They would say nice things about him. They're saying, oh, his America First policies look amazing. Well, now they're sending a letter to Donald Trump saying that our country is already facing severe housing shortages and affordability crisis, which we thought you recognized in one of your executive orders. But right now, by imposing these tariffs on Canada and Mexico, you're going to harm an already challenging housing market. You're going to make things far more difficult. Since January 2021, inputs to residential construction saw price increases of just over 30%. Our sector relies heavily on a diverse and cost-efficient supply chain for building materials such as lumber, steel, and it lists other elements. And it goes on to say, your tariffs will lead to higher material costs, which will ultimately be passed on to home buyers in the form of housing price increases, which is going to make housing far less affordable, not more affordable. And you will be betraying one of your campaign promises. But all of his campaign promises are being betrayed. Other than he's imposing tariffs, which everyone pretended, oh, that's not going to do a big deal. Well, it's crashing the economy and it's going to make prices skyrocket and make housing far less affordable at all. But you let the leopards eat your face, National Association of Home Builders. We're seeing the same thing with the National Association of Manufacturing. Also, this lobbying group, Republicans are great for business. Trump ain't a Republican. Trump's a psycho. He ain't a Republican. He's not conservative. By the way, I don't buy the premise that Republicans are better for business. Democrats have created, of the 50 million jobs created, over the past 30, 40 years or whatever the number is, like 48, 95%, 96% of those jobs were created in Democratic administrations. Trump lost jobs. He was the only president other than Herbert Hoover to lose jobs during his first term. And if you want to know why those housing costs are, for the National Building Association or the manufacturers, costs were going up because in Trump's first administration, he added $8 trillion to the debt. And because he mishandled COVID, he destroyed all of our supply chain. So when President Biden had the American Recovery Act and had to fix it, it was the equivalent of Biden being the fire department, putting out the fire, and then ultimately you were blaming the fire department for the fire. Of course, when you're putting out the fire, there's still going to be fire. But who caused it? Who started the fire? It was Donald Trump's mishandling of COVID, adding $8 trillion of debt. And now Donald Trump's come in and he's done catastrophic damage in just 2 weeks to our economy and our alliances that are going to crush your industry. And it was just so predictable. Look, under Biden and Harris, the stock market was up 55 to 60%. America's economy objectively was the envy of the world. People's 401ks were going up in Trump administration one. You couldn't get toilet paper. Now we're going to be back in that timeline of not being able to find toilet paper and eggs and all this other stuff that's not going to be available. This was so predictable. But here, the National Association of Manufacturers says that Their CEO, Jay Timmons, said, look, and they try to act nice about it. Manufacturers understand that there's a need to deal with any sort of crisis that involves illicit drug crossings in our border. Okay, let's be very clear. America's not handling the fentanyl crisis the way it needs to itself internally. And American consumers are consuming the fentanyl. Synthetic drugs are not being consumed in Mexico or Canada the way they're being consumed in the United States. And most of it's coming from China, who only got 10% tariffs, less than Mexico and Canada. And most of the fentanyl and opioids are happening here inside the United States by Americans. And you're saying Canada's the one who's bringing fentanyl. It's just absurd. Then it goes on to say, at the same time, protecting manufacturing gains that have come from our strong North American partnerships is vital. The success of Trump's landmark trade agreement, the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement, has strengthened the North American supply chain and bolstered economic power across the region. Thanks to this agreement, 1/3 of critical U.S. manufacturing inputs now come from Canada or Mexico, rather than from competitors like China that often engage in unfair practices. However, with essential tax reforms left on the cutting room floor by the last Congress and the Biden administration, manufacturers are already facing mounting cost pressures. A 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico threatens to upend the very supply chains that have made U.S. manufacturing more competitive globally. The ripple effect will be severe, particularly for small and medium-sized manufacturers that lack the flexibility and capital to rapidly find alternative suppliers to absorb skyrocketing energy costs. Look, by sucking up to him here, you're still part of the problem. Just enough. Okay? Trump's a psycho. Just say it. He's a psycho. He doesn't know what he's doing. There's a reason he bankrupted most of his businesses, why he bankrupted his casinos, screwing over all of the contractors. He was born with a golden spoon in his mouth from his daddy, and he screwed it up his entire life. And now he's made most of his wealth from stupid meme coins and Trump sneakers and grifting off of the Oval Office, despite his meme coin now crashing. And y'all still act like, based on your incredible deal making. He's a horrible deal maker. He is an idiot. Just say it. Wake the hell up. I didn't realize how bad the air was in my home until my baby girl started coughing. It was a big wake-up call. And you know, here in Los Angeles, with everything that went down, we need clean air in our home. This podcast is sponsored by Filter Easy. Look, it's 2025. When was the last time you changed your air filters? Many homeowners can't even answer that question, or they don't have the time, or they can't find the right size filters. Filter Easy makes changing your air filter effortless. The Filter Easy subscription service delivers the right filters to your door right when you need them. Finally, a subscription service I actually wanted to subscribe to. Filter Easy filters are proudly made with love in the great state of North Carolina, with millions of filtered shipped. Filter Easy is the #1 home air filter subscription service in the world. My filter arrived the other day. It's amazing. No more guessing sizes, running out of filters. I just say, my Filter Easy, it's here. Let's go. No more living with dirty air. The delivery is my reminder. You change your filters. It sounds silly, but these things are just cool. Filter Easy's filters snap into place when you open your box, and it's way stronger than the cardboard filters you buy at the store. I've got enough to worry about, so Filter Easy checks one thing off my list for good. I'll never forget to change my filters again. So, almost 80% of people don't change their filters on time, including me. With Filter Easy, I'll never forget again. Filter Easy Magic Filters offer improved airflow, which means cheaper heating and cooling bills. I think you're going to love it. So here's what you got to do. Filter Easy takes care of your air filters so you have time to take care of everything else. Head to filtereasy.com/Meidas and use code Meidas for 50% off your first order plus free shipping forever. Once again, that's filtereasy.com/Meidas for 50% off your first order plus free shipping forever. And make sure you use our promo code Meidas so they know we sent you. Thanks, Filter Easy. And by the way, take a look at what these shelves look like right now at supermarkets. If you could even find eggs, if you could find dairy products, if you could find things. Here we go again. By the way, the FAA's main warning system for pilots, well, that was gone for like a day and a half. Great work done. After 2 plane crashes, the main warning system was also down. Most people didn't know about that. That's, no, people don't want to fly planes anymore. Listen to this comment. I spoke with the owner of a small New York manufacturing firm. Most of his sales are exports. Biggest markets, Canada, China, and Europe. He never thought Trump would actually impose tariffs. Figured it was just campaign talk. If they go into effect, which they have, he fears he'll have to lay off most of his 65 employees. Well, they're going to. This one, my friend is a crypto investor and voted for Trump. The crypto community was so happy when Trump got elected, and my friend snubbed me for voting for Kamala. Then after Trump Melania launched their meme coin, my friend's crypto portfolio went down 60 to 70%, even though he did not buy the Trump nor Melania memes. He lost 60 to 70% because people sold their crypto, which he was heavily invested in, to buy the Trump Melania memes, which caused the value of his own crypto investments to take a nosedive. When Trump's inside traders sold their Trump meme, all the investors in the Trump meme lost billions of dollars combined, and there was no money to invest back into his crypto projects that they were originally in. Trump's inside trading was problematic and caused lots of issues. There's more right here. This is from Millennial Conservative. This is a conservative message board who's saying, there's plenty of government agencies that need to go, but OSHA? Now Trump and Musk are trying to get rid of OSHA? We need the OSHA. It saves lives. You have Republican Senator Susan Collins talking about how the tariffs are going to hurt her state of Maine. Remember, Susan Collins is the one who goes, I am shocked, I tell you. I'm so shocked and I am hurt. I'm going to say how surprised and disappointed I am at this. Okay, really? I mean, come on. Carmack55 on these message boards saying dozens of female Republican officials who have been fired by the Trump administration's anti-DEI policies, they're complaining that Trump's firings were supposed to be according to race, not gender. More people on the Fox YouTube channel and the Fox message boards are saying this. I supported him for lower prices, and they were a lot like me. We will never defend this. This is the worst decision he has ever made with the trade war. No one wins in trade wars. Just means higher prices. I will never vote Republican again if they don't speak out. What happened to lower prices? Then someone goes, Trump and his cabinet full of billionaires care less about the cost of living for normal people, but at least he's renaming the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. More from the small government conservative message boards. What's the point of taxing Canada? Like, for real? This is the definition of a pissing contest. What the F, man? What's the goal of all of this? I'm worried this is going to bite us hard, causing prices to skyrocket. I'm in the construction industry and would be lying if I said I wasn't nervous on this roller coaster. Here, we have more conservatives realizing that Trump's tariffs on Canada may not be the best idea. So wait, Canada's putting retaliatory 25% tariffs on over $100 billion of American imports? It won't hurt America as much as Canada, but it will hurt. This is just the stupidest timeline. We're allies. Asking Canada to pay more for NATO makes a ton of sense. Asking Canada to secure the border is only fair, although I'll point out much more crime actually moves from America into Canada than the other way around. And maybe a few trade concessions like changing some trade policies related to agriculture and dairy goods might make sense. But this is getting into a fistfight with a country that for 100 years has wanted nothing but friendship and free trade. Wild. No, what's wild is that you bought what this con artist Donald Trump was selling. Wasn't this so obvious? More people who are saying, oh, this is, woe is me, how horrible this all is. And by the way, I think in South Dakota, you have the Lutheran Lutheran Family Services organizations, I think tends to, in South Dakota vote a certain way. And now they're saying that these payments are illegal, and Elon Musk is saying that he's shutting down unilaterally. He's deciding that he's going to shut down payments, to which I show you this meme right here of former President Biden, who I had the honor of interviewing in the Roosevelt room of the West Wing of the White House. And he goes, we wrote this, wasn't so bad when shit was sleepy. Now, was it? Let's try to get to 5 million subscribers. Hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. We appreciate you. Let's keep growing this.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.